Today, we're going to talk about a topic that is crucial for your success. At the end of the video, I'm going to talk about 3 reasons why you should think about your locus of control. But first, how do you have a better locus of control? Let's go. Hey, yo, and what's up, tribe? That's right, today we're going to talk about locus of control, something that if you practice properly will be instrumental in making sure that you are a success in your life. Locus of control is this idea of how much in control you feel you are to your life. If you find a $5 bill on the street, do you think that you're just lucky, or was it because you were looking down at the street? People who are internals in terms of locus of control tend to feel like they have more control over their life. People who are externals tend to think that things are because of other circumstances, because of chance. Just generally, they don't see their actions as having any weight in what they're doing. So generally speaking, we want you to have a more internal locus of control. People who have an external locus of control, they're often the ones that say, why bother? There's a story about a sales manager who really wanted to understand his door-to-door sales force. Those of you not in sales, just know that being a salesperson is not easy. There's a lot of rejection, door-to-door even more so. So this sales manager would be able to tell his salespeople's locus of control the first time they had a bad day. What would happen is he would ask them a question, what went wrong on your first bad day? And if they said, oh, it was the weather, it was raining, it was hot, just bad doors, that is an external locus of control. And that salesperson just isn't going to try hard enough, which you need to do when you're in sales. An internal person would say, I let the rain get to me. And so I know I need to make sure that I don't let the rain get to me. Or, I wasn't handling the doors properly, or something else that's much more internal. Understanding what locus of control is, you're probably thinking if you're an external or you're internal, maybe you know someone who's an external. Maybe they always have a victim mindset of other people are always conspiring against me, or I can never make a change in my life. But what you should know is that you can change yours or other people's locus of control just by having conversations, just by acting more like an internal, and chances are you can see people take more control of their life. So let me give you 10 things that you can do to change your locus of control if you're an external, or move it more internal if you happen to be internal. And again, stay to the end of the video. I'll talk about why this is important. So the first thing that you should think about when you're thinking about moving your locus of control more internally is leveraging your emotional intelligence. Leveraging your emotional intelligence is going to be critical for getting that locus of control further into you, because it's going to require you to face your fears, face your angers, and in some cases, face times when you haven't been so happy. So think about your emotional awareness. How aware are you of your emotions? What triggers them? How they manifest inside you? And ways that you can cope with those particular emotions. If, for example, anxiety and fear are big players in what you do, then look to understand what makes you anxious and what you can do to get past that anxiety, preferably with your own self, not necessarily medication. With that awareness, then you get a little bit better at handling those emotions, at managing your way of dealing with emotions. Emotional intelligence is a little more complex. There's also awareness of other people's emotions and how you can manage those emotions as well, not what we're going to get into in this video. All right, so that's your emotional intelligence. Next, what you want to do is you want to learn how to embrace failure. Tribe, if you are not failing, you are not trying. You're not putting yourself out there. A person who fails is trying. A lot of the most successful business leaders in the world today have failed. Jeff Bezos has a string of failures. Steve Jobs, I know he's not with us anymore, but he failed. In fact, if he didn't fail, Apple wouldn't be the behemoth that it is today. Reed Hastings, the CEO of Netflix, if he didn't screw up with one of his early endeavors, he wouldn't have made Netflix what it is today. Abraham Lincoln, if we want to go into history, he failed a number of times. He lost a lot of elections. So the point, though, is one, if you're not failing, you're not trying. The second point I want to make is it's not about the failure per se, it's about learning from the failure. If you're just failing and not really learning from it, you're going to have some troubles. You're going to really be facing a lot of difficulty in your life. The idea is to learn from those failures so that you can improve and you can do something different. Another thing about failure is understanding just because you got a no once doesn't mean you're going to go to get a no again. You may just have to change your approach to what you happen to be doing. Okay, so tribe, embrace failure. Next, I want to talk about visualizing success. Athletes do this all the time. They go out there and before their game, before their race, they visualize themselves winning. There's scientific data that shows that people who visualize themselves doing something improve at it. Even weightlifting, strength improves even if you're just visualizing it. So this can apply as well to what you want to do in your life. Visualize yourself getting the deal. Visualize yourself getting the girl or the guy. So visualization is really critical into seeing yourself being successful. Another thing you want to do is own the problem. Think like Jocko Willink. He talks about extreme ownership. Well, owning the problem, taking anything that's not going right in the world as your own is critical to understanding how you can move past it. If you don't own the problem, it's someone else's problem. You're less likely to deal with it, and it is more likely to own you. Next, let's talk about understanding the problem. Owning the problem is one thing, but what internals tend to do is they really look to understand the problem, and they're better at processing that information. Of course, that requires you to repeat what you're doing to make sure that you can really solve the problem. Think around it. Find all the possible solutions to that problem so that you can really figure out a way to get past it, especially if that problem is you. Other people have probably met that challenge before. Plenty of YouTube videos out there to help you with your diet, to help you with your exercise, to help you start your business, all sorts of things that you can do to better your life just by looking at some of the other mistakes that other people made and how they got past it. That's part of understanding the problem. Next, and with apologies to Yoda, you want to try, you want to do it, and you want to want it. This is like what Simon Sinek says about understanding your why. If you have a strong why, a mission, you're going to be able to do things so much better because you're going to hone in on that mission. You're not going to be thinking about dollar signs. You're going to be thinking about improving someone's life. So think about that and try as hard as you can. I know. Do or do not try. It's the same principle, just a different word. The thing is, you gotta put yourself out there. You can plan all you want, you just gotta do it. Don't worry about perfection. This is a big one. You wanna change your language. Changing your language is important to think like an internal as opposed to an external. So if you want to think about it, go back to the example I gave you. That salesperson, did they blame the rain, or did they understand that perhaps they let the rain get to them and they know that they have to push themselves past the rain? Did they blame the customers, or did they understand that maybe they weren't approaching the customer properly? In your life, changing your language is really important. Think about times that you've used external language. Here's something that sounds internal but is in fact external. Oh, I just don't have the business mindset, or I need to learn how to have a business mindset. Think about your language and think about how your language may actually be holding you back from achieving what you want to achieve. Be positive. And here's something that a lot of people don't realize is really integral into having a successful life. Being positive means seeing the goodness in things. The Stoics would talk often about how being grateful and seeing the positivity in one's life is important. And of course, avoiding complaining, because, like a rocking chair, complaining, it gives you something to do, but it doesn't actually get you anywhere. So you want to be positive, and you want to keep yourself in a positive frame of mind. That's all about that emotional intelligence that I mentioned before. If you have trouble, if you're in a bad mood, well, how did you get there? Did someone put you in that bad mood? Well, let's change that to some internal language. You may have let someone put you into that bad mood. Don't give people that control over yourself. One of the things that I do to put myself in a good mood is I'll go and I'll find someone who's in a bad mood. Usually in customer service, I look for the most pissed off customer service rep or cashier and try and put them in a good mood. And that in turn also changes my mood. I know it's more selfish, but hey, two people in a good mood, who can complain about that? Really important for this is to also recognize the external, but recognize the external second to recognizing the internal. It is really easy for you to blame something outside of your scope, outside of your control, and then you don't look inside for what you could have controlled, and maybe there is a better way of handling the external. Similarly, the Stoics talk about when you have something that you can't control, you can control your own reaction to it. And so when something is truly external, control your reaction to it and understand, what you do have control over. The real important reason for this is because in understanding being an internal, one could be an internal and really be down on themselves for constantly not doing things the way they were supposed to. So recognize that there are going to be external factors that can affect your progress and affect your trajectory. What you want to do is you want to then control your reaction to those things and not let them hold you back as much as they might try to. And finally, tribe, the most important thing that you want to think about is practicing on a daily basis. Listen to your language, see if you're using external or internal language, use your emotional intelligence, work to be positive, make sure you're really focused on your mission, really work to understand problems instead of saying, oh, this is too much work, owning all of the problems that might be coming your way, understanding your emotional intelligence and pushing yourself to try more and fail more. And I promise to you, tribe, it will be worth it. Why is it worth it? Well, let's just say, first of all, people who are internal usually see more success in their life. Think about it. If you're an external and you're blaming all these external factors, eventually you're like, I don't want to deal with this shit anymore. Internals tend to have more of achievement-oriented approach to life, and that means that they're getting further and further in life, doing what they want to do. And I think the most important aspect of this, you're not worried about external factors sabotaging you. You're in control of your life. You're going to be less stressed. You're going to feel so much better on a day-to-day basis. So, tribe, think about being an internal. Think about the benefits that it's going to have for your life and make it happen. I believe in you. Okay, tribe. Hey, thanks again for checking out my video. Welcome to this series 2. I'm going to be vacillating between a couple of different types of topics. If you're coming here after seeing me at the PSE convention in Milwaukee, welcome. I hope that there's plenty of videos here for you, and of course, comment if you'd like to see something. In the meantime, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can see when I post on Mondays, and in case I post some extra videos outside of that. And as always, I hope you're a little bit better today than you were yesterday, and I'm looking forward to you being a little bit better tomorrow than you were today. Take care, tribe.